This is not a water bottle. It's an air-up bottle that flavors ordinary water through scent using flavor pods. This is Joanne, getting her daily dose of water while waiting for that serve. And this is Bob, clearly dehydrated.
Oh god. Hello everyone. I am back. Welcome back. Um yeah. Hope everyone is doing well. I am also doing alright, I guess. Um Things could be better, but it's whatever. So, what's going on? What are we doing today? What have I done? Okay. As we do. So today, if I think I could pull it up on screen. Hold on, where is it? Oh wait, no, it's up here. I need to organize my OBS. There's so much shit here that I need to organize a little bit more. I still have this though. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Anyway, I was gonna say sorry. Um, yeah. What are you doing today? Okay. We are continuing what we were doing yesterday, which was the watching and following along of Geo Nodes. That looks interesting. Sorry. um, Wait, what? Okay, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. We were continuing the um watching of GeoNode tutorials and following along said I would say VTubing um GeoNode tutorials. Okay. I was looking at this one. I it's I in my mind I was thinking this was something else. For some reason in my mind I thought this was gonna be a video about like, you know, like those metal bands that are like stand up straight and then you slap them onto your wrist and they like fold and make like kind of like a bracelet thing. I thought this was what that was going to be. Um or like a ribbon that just like wrapped itself up, but it doesn't seem to be any of that. It seems more like it just seems to be kind of like a shrink wrap modifier, but with geonodes, and I don't see the use for it personally. So probably not gonna watch that one. This one, I want to see, hold on. It's actually that interesting. It's pretty funny though. And that is pretty cool effect. It might be. I'll do it. Why not? Anyway. More disgusting Geo Nodes. That looks interesting. Sorry, I keep on looking at stuff and potentially watching. Is Blender dead? What? That was 2 years ago. Anyway, sorry. Like I was saying, we're going to watch more Geometry Node videos. At the moment, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 videos. 3 of them being the every node in Geometry Nodes. But yeah, things might increase, as you just saw. While scrolling down, I see some more interesting stuff, and I save it to watch it. Yeah. At some point, it might even today, honestly, I might cut back from doing that instead of saving it and put it like on the that's pretty cool. Look how cool that is. I'm putting it on like the sort of docket here of like videos to watch. Instead, I'm probably just gonna go put it in the Google Doc and mark it as I didn't watch it, and I'll do it later, specifically when I dive deeper into geometry nodes. I might put these 3, the every nodes in geometry nodes, into that category of like videos that I'm not gonna watch right now, but I'll probably will do later when I decide to, do a deeper dive or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna do it today. Things that I've done. I did say I was gonna look deeper into the motion studio thing that I kind of found out about yesterday through me not doing what I'm supposed to be doing and um scrolling through Twitter and stuff like that. Uh, it's actually pretty interesting. The motion, I guess, like Motion Studios' main YouTube channel is literally like there's like barely 200 subs, and some of their videos like barely get any views. Which I mean, this is no hate to them. I'm not I'm not trying to diss them, but I just think it's like I don't know. You would suspect that you would hear about this stuff around the time where it has like millions of views and like millions of subscribers or something, and like people are using this often. Because I don't know. I feel like maybe it's the setup that people don't want to get into. I don't know. I still haven't watched a lot of these things, these videos. You can probably see the ones I have watched, which is like this dice roller one, and then this one, which is basically just their channel trailer. I haven't dived into the, I guess like SDK that they offer. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I kind of have to think of like a reason to use this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I was thinking that sort of ties into the talk I had. Like I don't remember when I had it, like a while ago. I think I was sick. I mean, I'm still relatively sick. Um, I do have a bit of a headache every now and then. Um, but I talked about my previous game, I guess, dev experience, even though it was very short-lived and not much came of it. Um, and yeah, And I've been thinking about that a little bit because it kind of coincides with one of my goals, which is creating like a VR, VTubing avatar. Even though like I didn't start off wanting to be a VTuber. I kind of just wanted to do Blender, but I guess like the fact that I want to make models kind of ties into that sort of side of content creation, you know? Um, like I tried out making a VTubing model and I tried making a VR chat model. Um, both of which were really cool, very nice. I enjoyed doing both of those things. However, um, yeah, it was never my intention to be a VTuber. I don't even watch VTubers, if I'm being honest. I know some of them just because, you know, if you're on the internet long enough, you kind of stumble across some of them. Kind of how you stumble across anything internet related. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how to feel about it. If I want to do it, it makes sense. Like I said, because I do like to make models that I would have a model for myself, but at the same time, it's I don't know. There's nothing bad or wrong with having like I guess a VTuber model. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so apprehensive about it. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Either way, though, I looked into this a little bit, and by little bit, I mean like literally like maybe 30 minutes max. I'll definitely have to spend more time on this. I feel like I say that about a lot of things, and I don't end up spending nearly as much time as I should. It's definitely an issue um with like time management for me, especially for when it comes to like morning stuff. That is not streaming. That is just scrolling. Yeah, right. I'm literally just scrolling. Whew. For some reason it's fucking hot in my room. Anyway, like I said, I'll look into this more later. It does scratch my interest, pique my interest. Um, yeah, I probably won't be using it anytime soon. Just because I have no reason to at the moment. Maybe in the future I will have a reason. But for now, um, I'll probably look into it off stream. I won't report on it too much about the progress. Um, just in case, like I decide to not look at it at all. But it is like an interesting thing. So I should give it some time. Anyway, we're back. So today, we'll continue what we were doing for the last 2 days, following tutorials pertaining to Geo Nodes, seeing what's up, trying to learn from them as best as I can. Um, yeah. So we're starting off with this one here. Procedural pendulum waves with geometry nodes. It's 10 minutes long. It's like whatever, you know. I think I want to save most like most like super long videos until the end. Oh, not that one. So for instance, the modular virus is like 30 minutes long. I'm not doing that one. Like I said before, these might be saved for me to do another day. This one is also 30 minutes long, which I might do later. Ooh, this one's also 30 minutes long, which is also kind of crazy. I do want to do all the Joey ones, though. Or at least the ones that I have here. I know he probably has made a bunch of other ones. Yeah. This is 3 minutes, okay. That's basically the order I'm doing things. And yeah. Interesting. Okay, sorry. Alright. Let me... First of all, let me save this in its own... Oops, not that. Okay, so this is gonna be the pendulum waves. Okay, yeah. Let me turn up. Wait. Okay, no, everything's fine. I thought my mic was making noise again. I feel like I should expand this a little bit. I don't want to expand it too much though, because I don't want it to take too much of the screen. However, because I have both the video on the left side and Blender on the right side of the screen, it does make Blender look really blown out. So sorry about that, but that is like literally the only way I could do this. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so I have the audio up. Let us begin. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh wait, I can't hear anything. Hold on. I have my volume turned down. All right, let's go.
So for no specific reason at all, I decided to make a procedural pendulum setup in Blender, with geometry nodes. This video would be specific to Blender 3.1, but if this is something that you would like to try out even if you're still using 2.93, or if you want to see a different approach to doing something like this, I recommend watching this video by The Infinites. So let's get into it. Essentially, the node setup will consist of two distinct parts, with one part of the node tree being responsible for creating the geometry of the pendulums, and the other part being responsible for creating the procedural movements of the pendulums. Add a plane. Then head over to the Geometry Nodes workspace and add a new node tree. Add a mesh line, an instance on points node, and a curve line from the curve primitives. Set the mesh line offset C to 0. And set
Okay, wait, it's going very fast. I guess that's fine. Curve line. What does it do?
Set the mesh line offset C to 0. And set the offset X to -1. This determines the direction that the mesh line is aligned to. This value also determines the distance between the pendulums. Set the curve line to direction. Set the direction C to -1. And set the length to 3. Then connect it to the instance input of the instance on points node. Since the mesh line is used as the points that the individual pendulums are instanced on, the amount of pendulums is directly connected to the count value. Next, let's add some balls at the bottom of the pendulums. Add an instance on points node, an icosphere with a subdivision of 3, and a radius of 0.5, and the endpoint selection node. Connect the icosphere to the instance input. As you can see, since each curve line consists
Endpoint. Okay. I mean, it's space. I fucked it. Hold on.
of 2 points, the icosphere is being instanced on both of them. However, since it's a curve, it's possible to select any number of points of the curve, starting from either the start of the curve, the end of the curve, or both. To demonstrate, here is a curve that has been resampled to 20 points, and on each point an icosphere is being instanced. I am then using the endpoint selection node to select a different amount of points starting from either of the ends. Set the start size of the endpoint selection node to 0, and connect it to the selection input of the instance on points node. This way we are only selecting the last point of the curve to be used for instancing. Next, let's create the rods that the balls are attached to. Add a join geometry node, a curve to mesh node, and a curve circle. Set the resolution of the curve circle to 6. Set the radius to 0.0.
Yeah, sorry. Curve circle. He's very fast. But that's not a bad thing. Oh shit. Alright, hold on. How do you... Oh, there we go.
Then connect it to the profile curve input. And lastly, to smooth out the mesh, add a set shade smooth node. And that's about it for the actual geometry of the node tree, so let's move on to creating the procedural movements. Set the end frame of the timeline to something large, so that there is enough time for the pendulum animation to play out in full. Add a rotate instances node after the first instance on points node, and make sure that the output is connected to both the second instance on points node and the curve to mesh node. Add a combine XYZ node, a scene time node, and a math node set to sine. Connect the seconds output of the scene time node to the
If it's a sine, okay.
sine node. Then connect that node to the X input of the combine XYZ
Alright.
node. And finally, connect the combine XYZ node to the rotation input of the rotate instances node. If we now press play, the pendulums will be moving back and forth in a way that resembles swinging. And that's because we are feeding the current time of the timeline through a sine node, which gradually interpolates between -1 and 1 and back. However, there are two things that needs to be fixed. Firstly, all the pendulums are swinging at the same speed. And secondly, they are all reaching the same height when they swing. To make the pendulums swing at individual speeds, add an index node, a map range node, and a math node set to multiply. Connect the index node to the value of the map range node, and disable clamp.
Map range node set to multiply.
Set the from max value to the amount of pendulums minus 1, so in this case 9. This means that we want to take the values of the value input ranging from 0 to 9 and map them to a new range. The new range that I will use is a 2 min value of 2.5 and a 2 max value of 4.5. This new range essentially controls the maximum and minimum speeds of the pendulums. Connect the multiply node between the scene time node and the sine node. Then connect the map range node to the bottom value of the multiply node. If you want a value that can easily control the speeds, you can add an extra multiply node after the map range node. That way you can increase or decrease the speeds by adjusting the multiply value.
Okay.
Next, let's make it so that the maximum rotation of each pendulum is controlled by its speed. Add a math node set to multiply after the sine node.
I feel like I should organize this a little more. Yeah, map node. After this sign. I need to just copy the one from the left. Why did he spawn a new one in? What the hell?
And connect the map range node to the bottom value.
Oops.
Then, to control the maximum amount of rotation, add another multiply node between the new multiply node and the map range node. Then set the bottom value to something like 0.2. As a final touch, I would like to be able to add materials to the geometry. Add a set material node after the curve to mesh node. Then add another set material node after the instance on points node. This way it's possible to select different materials for the different parts of the pendulum.
Ah, I see, okay.
And that's pretty much it. So let's add some functionality to the setup that allows us to change some of the variables of the pendulums out here in the modifiers tab. Let's start by making it so that we can increase or decrease the amount of pendulums and still have it in a functional state. Connect the count value of the mesh line to an empty output of the group input node. Then connect that same value to the from max value of the map range node.
There's a from max range.
Now we can create a pendulum line of say 100 or 1000 and still have it working as it should. Some other values that might be nice to be able to control in a modifier is the speed of the pendulums and the maximum rotation. Connect the multiply node after the map range node to the group input.
Where's the last one? Oh yeah, that's the last one, okay.
Press N to open the properties sidebar and rename the input to speed. Then do the same with the multiply node that we use to control the maximum rotation. The last two values that I would like to have access to in a modifier is the distance between each individual pendulum and the length of the rods, so I will connect those inputs to the group input as well.
Bruh.
Of course, other parts of the node tree can be exposed in a modifier as well. For example, instead of using an icosphere, we could add an object info node and connect the object input to the group input. That way you can replace the balls with any object that you want.
The object info. Put the monkey. More monkey.
It might also be a good idea to connect the scale of the instance on points node to the group input as well. And that's how we can make a procedural pendulum setup with geometry nodes. I hope you found this video helpful and that you learned something new. See you next time.
That wasn't bad. That was a pretty good video. I haven't played the animation though. Let me do that. Wow. That's actually pretty cool though, if I had to be honest. It's cool. Alright, so let me save this. Alright. Alright, good stuff. Alright, you're done. This one seems very interesting. Okay. Do I care about this? I feel like I should, but this is more like a stop texture thing instead of a...
There's a good chance.
Of a Geo Node thing. Monkey is this not... Yeah, right. Monkey. The monkeys be swinging. Hold on. But hey, how's it going? Hope everything is good. Well, that's good. And you can do the thing with the normal map. Very nice. Very, very nice. Alright. Next thing we're gonna do is this tune/anime smear styles with Geo Nodes. It looks interesting. Is it? Yeah, we're going to do the story, but not learning the right stuff. Alright. Sounds good. Yeah, this seems interesting. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we'll see. Anyway, enough monkey business. I guess this is style. Please title this. With 6 more videos uploaded today. Oh dang. Look at you getting all caught up. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. Alright. So yeah. Up next, anime style smears. It looks cool.
A simplified version of this dynamic motion smear effect in Blender using the new 3.6 Geometry Node simulation system. I'm not going to be going into the full detail of how this works, but I am going to be showing you the core principles and hopefully set you up with the knowledge and a couple of ideas for how you might improve this and expand upon this for your own animations so that you too can have cool comic book, cartoon style motion smears.
Cool.
Alright, let's jump in. So the first thing we're going to do in our new project is select our default cube and send that thing straight to hell. Then add in our good old friend Suzanne the monkey and give her a couple levels of subdivision so that we have enough topology to work with so the effect is actually visible. If you add a cube, it won't work. Then go into geometry nodes, add your new geometry nodes
Okay.
group and give it a memorable name so that you know what this node group is when you go to append it to another file.
Shmia.
And now before we actually do anything, we want to give it some animation. So I'm going to turn on auto keyframe and just press play and give
Auto keyframe.
her some slow movements and also some fast movements because this is a dynamic effect that will trigger based on the velocity of the object. And then move her back to the origin at the end and turn off the auto keyframe and she should just loop around forever.
It's working like I think it is.
Alright. So the next thing we're going to do is add in our simulation zone.
Okay, probably didn't do it right. Okay, whatever. I probably need to turn, I need to press play. Okay, yeah. Cool. Alright.
Shift A, adding in simulation, simulation zone, then pipe your geometry in.
I don't think we've used, simulation stuff yet. I wonder how this works. Seems interesting.
And pipe your geometry out. I'm going to go ahead and expand this to give myself a little bit of breathing room. Things get a little cramped sometimes in these simulation zones. So velocity is basically how far you've traveled over some period of time. And we can give an example here. Say this is 0, and the time is equal to 1. And then over here, we have this is 3, and the time is equal to 2. Then we know in 1 unit of time, we have traveled 3 units. So our velocity would be 3 units per frame. So to actually implement this, we are going to use the self-object node and pipe that into a object info node, which will give us the location.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. Self-object. Object info.
I'm going to reroute this and then put that into a node group because we're going to use it like 3 times. And give it a friendly name, like something maybe get current location.
Okay. Get current location.
So then we're going to pipe that into the simulation input, otherwise our last location will be 0 and maybe our object's not at 0 when it starts. Then we're going to duplicate that, add a subtract node, and then subtract the location at the current moment in time from the location at the last moment in time, which is what we just discussed. If you click the simulation input node, then over on your right under simulation state, it will expose all the input sockets and you can rename them. I'm going to give these two nodes a frame to organize them and call this calculate current velocity. So next we're going to hook these variables up to the simulation output so that they persist between frames. First I'm going to add a mix node, then I'm going to
What is this again? Calculate current velocity. I'll worry about that small stuff later. Wait, what? Yeah, mix node. It looked kind of like a vector math. I guess it doesn't count as one.
duplicate this get current location node and plug that into the last position so that we update it, and then we're going to connect the mix node out and then connect that newly created input into the mix node.
Okay, they did a lot of connecting.
Connect the mix node out and then connect that newly created input into the mix node. So now this means that every frame we are
Alright, all looks good, right?
blending 50-50 between the current velocity and the last velocity. I'm going to organize this real quick. And then again, if you select the simulation node, over here on the right, you can rename your variable, and I'm going to rename this to current velocity, just for clarity. So
For some reason mine isn't showing up. Oh wait, probably because it has to go into node itself. Let's see.
now that we have that done, we can preview our velocity output of the simulation, and you can see that when the object moves faster, the color gets brighter, and when it's slower, it's darker, and when it's not moving, it's totally black. So
How do I see that? I'm not gonna worry about it.
this is working. So now, in order to actually select certain parts of the mesh that we want to distort and displace, we're going to need to use something called the dot product. So let's talk about the dot product. The dot product just tells us how similar two vectors are, two arrows in space, if they're pointing in the same direction or pointing in the opposite direction, or if they're pointing at a right angle to each other. It's a very, very useful mathematical function. So if you imagine this being the motion vector, and that being a dividing line, the dot product will be -1 and +1, depending on if it's facing or not facing, and 90 degrees will be 0. So the output of the mix node, we are going to normalize that so that it's always between 0 and 1, regardless of the velocity, and then plug that into the dot product.
Alright, normalize dot. What?
And then also, we're going to take the dot product.
I figured. Okay. It's under vector math. Wait, is that also part of this? It is. Okay, wait, hold on. I don't want to do normal. Okay, fine.
Of that vector and the normal of the surface, which is the direction the surface is facing.
I want to be able to see that, but I can't. I don't know how. Well, what? Okay, so I was doing.
And you can see here that that's working. When the object moves,
Wait, what? Oh, wait. Just plug somewhere
the
else.
part of it that is in the direction of motion, facing in the direction of motion, is white, and the part that's facing opposite is black. And we're going to then pipe that into the simulation out.
Hmm. Oh, shit. Sorry. Whatever. I'll continue.
Output.
Ah, I see. Okay. Ah, okay. Whatever.
So that that value can persist between frames. And we're going to give that a name, like velocity dot product, or surface normal velocity dot, or face forward, whatever you want that helps you understand what's going on here. I think I change it to face forward later on in the video. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the simulation zone. I'm going to go ahead and organize these nodes a little bit, and then we're going to continue on to the displacement part of the effect. It may be helpful for you to add frames to this with some descriptions of what things are, just so that you have a better intuition of what's going on and you don't get lost in your node groups later, because that's something that happens to me a lot. when I don't label things and don't put frames on things, I will get lost in the nodes and have no idea what's going on. So now we've calculated everything we need to calculate in the simulation, and we have all the information needed to make the rest of the effect. So I'm going to give myself some breathing room here again, and we're going to get started on the second part of it. Next, we're going to use our face forward or velocity normal dot product value as a way to limit the effect of the smear to only the parts of the object that are facing backwards. So remember, our motion vector is in some direction, and then anything aligned with it will be +1, opposite alignment will be -1, 90 degrees is 0, and these numbers will vary smoothly between -1 and 1. So we will set our minimum to -1 because we definitely want smears there, and our maximum we're going to add as a group input because this is a good control to expose in the modifier. And I'm going to give this a name like smear cutoff. Switch our min and max so that we have 1 to 0 instead of 0 to 1. And then I'm going to preview this value and go into the modifier.
Okay, this is 1, this is 0.
Properties and set it to like -0.5. That's what we're looking for. Now you can see as I adjust this, we can get more or less of the mesh selected, and that will help us control the threshold of our effect so that the whole thing isn't getting distorted. -0.5 is a good default. I'm going to add a label to this and call this face forward threshold. Then we're going to get our velocity, and we're going to normalize that so that we get a vector facing in the same direction that is of a length of 1. And then
I see. She swapped out the velocity and location. That's fine though.
we are going to scale that by -1 to invert it so that we have a vector that's facing in the opposite direction, our inverse motion vector.
Want your video to stand out?
No.
The next step is to add another vector scale and drag in our face forward threshold and then pipe that into a set position, and we're going to put that not into the selection but the offset. And now you can see the effect is beginning to take shape, but
Offset, okay.
unfortunately it's always at its maximum amount. No matter how fast or slow the object moves, it is just always being displaced, and that's definitely not what we want. So the next step is to find a way to scale down this displacement depending on the velocity. Since we already have a velocity, we're ready to go. All we have to do is add in another math node. So we will take our velocity and
I don't see it though. I don't know if it it'll get fixed as I follow along. Oh wait, I'm supposed to put the geometry in here, then pipe the geometry out. There we go. It's fixed. Never mind. I figured it out. I know what I'm doing now. No. Not really. How do I do this again? I forgot how to add the line. Oh, there we go. I think control erases it, yeah. Shift makes it, control erases it. Fine enough. Okay, length.
Plug that into a length math node, which will give us one single number that is the length of, or it's like our speed essentially. And then we'll put that into a map range node and add 3 group inputs to from min, from max, and to max.
Oh, I guess this is quite old. No, it's not that old. Why is... How odd. Wait, sorry, what am I doing again? So no 2 max. Wait, what? No, sorry, no 2 min. And then
And these are going to be our trigger velocity, peak velocity, and smear length, respectively. Then we will drag
it's true velocity, peak velocity, and smear.
that and make a multiply node, and then put that between those two. Now when we press play, you can see as the object moves
What now?
between those two.
That goes there, and this one goes in there.
Now when we press play, you can see as the object moves faster, the trail gets longer, and when it slows down, the trail shrinks to nothing. So these 3 parameters already offer us a lot of control. If I adjust the peak velocity and the trigger velocity, I'll show you what that looks like. If I pause that and run the simulation back and forth, you can see there's a high speed movement. We get full smear. And in a position where there's low movement, low speed movements get no smear.
Cool.
So this is really useful, and you'll want to adjust these according to your animation because some things move faster than others. I'm going to give this a node label and call this velocity-based smear length.
Based.
Then we're going to give ourselves a little bit more breathing room here. The next step is add in another multiply node, and this time we are going to add the actual noise texture that makes the displacement be little trails instead of one big blob. So I'm going to add a Voronoi texture, and I'm going to set that in smooth F1. I'm going to preview this here so you can see. This is kind of a weird effect, so smooth F1 gives us a little bit of a better result. And I will plug that into a color ramp, and I will plug the color ramp into that multiply node. And I can adjust
Wait, hold on. What? Hold on. Oh, I see. Wait, hold on. Oh, it's nothing.
Adjust these values to crunch that noise texture so that only the centers of the Voronoi cells are white. Centers of the Voronoi cells are white.
359. It might be changed, so it's fine.
And if I turn this off, you can see here that that adds the nice little pointy smears that we like. And if you go down and adjust the color ramp, you can change how bulky they are. You can make them more or less pointy. And you can also change the scale of the Voronoi texture so that you get more or less individual smears. And again, this will be limited by the density of your topology on your object. If you're doing something really low poly, don't expect there to be this much detail. We will add a group input to that and call that smear noise scale.
Is it 309? And then there's a group input into the scale. Call it, what was it again? Smear.
And so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole effect. There's a lot more you can add here. You could add, for example, different types of noise textures. You could even animate the noise textures so that the smears change over time instead of just being the same every time the object moves. But I hope you learned something. I hope you found this tutorial useful. And if you did, I'd really appreciate your support. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those good things. And even if you didn't, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you didn't like. Was it confusing? Whatever, because this was my first tutorial and I would definitely like to make more in the future, and your feedback is greatly appreciated.
Let's see what the comments say. Hopefully nothing mean. Ah, people are very, very nice. Okay, that's good. Apparently, have a good Twitter. Ooh. Do they have it linked? Oh, there's a screenshot. They have a screenshot. Do they have it like on their? Oh, they have a bunch of videos. Wait, hold on. Let me look at these. Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, they're like shirts. Ah, okay, okay. What is CCTV camera motion with Blender? I made Fortnite for bugs. It what? I made Fortnite for bugs in Blender? Okay, I have Shadow of the Point Gang. We love casting spells. I have to see that one. Wait, hold on. Let's look at in order. CCTV camera monitor Blender Geo Nodes. What the fuck? Yo! Yo, that's sick. That's cool. What the fuck? That's cool. This is cool. Okay, this person is actually has some cool ideas. Holy shit. Look at the effect on the screen. It's like that, I guess, like CCTV sort of effect. Yo, I want to see the Fortnite one now. I need to find uh their Twitter account. Holy shit. Okay, this is the Fortnite one. Oh, no, this is not the Fortnite one. This is like, what the fuck? Wait, oh, I don't think they're actually like fighting each other. They're just landing. Oh wait, no, they are fighting each other. Yo, what? That one's getting bigger. What? I gotta give this shit a like. Yo, wait, hold on. When was this posted? Does it say? July. It's posted in July. How has no one fucking talked about this? This is cool to me. They're actually like this is a game. Holy shit. That's so sick. Okay, I'm also gonna like this one. When was this posted? Also July. What? They haven't posted like in since August, September, October, November, December. 5 months, at least on this. This is so cool. Okay, wait. Should I look up? I assume. Oh wait, they have a link tree. Oh wait, they have links. Oh shit, they do. Open birds, fast food jobs, free to rotate, and on 3 printing. So silly. I don't know about anyone else who would like to check. They do some amazing stuff. They're 21? That's actually crazy though. They're younger than me. That's funny. Looks okay, by the way. They have. Holy shit. I think I might have to follow this person. Because holy shit, is the stuff they're making in Blender cool as fuck. Look at this. They made like a fucking, I don't know, sci-fi simulation. That's so cool. Oh, I need to be careful. I don't know. Can you imagine if like they have smut or something on here? That'd be really funny. This is pretty cool though. I gotta admit. I did see this the other day. Oh, I actually did see this response. Oh, that's so interesting. That I saw this response, didn't know who this person was, and only now realizing they do like really good work. Oh, alright. I guess I could check their media tab. There's probably like a more condensed catalog of things that you do. Oh, look, they do some face topology. I've seen this picture. I wonder if it's theirs. Pretty dope, though. Alright. I'll follow. Why not? They do cool shit. Anyway.
YouTube.
Wait, is it this video? Oh, it is. Sorry. I thought I didn't save it. This is a cool video. I'm gonna write that down. This is anime. What was it called again? Like anime. What style? Smears. Really cool stuff on their YouTube. Also their Twitter. Go into it later. Good stuff. It just really goes to show that cool shit people do. Hold on, I got a message, I think. Wait, hold on. I need to... Let me do something real quick. Oh, wait. Let me actually play the animation first, though. Hold on. Let me do that. You guys can watch that on screen. I didn't actually test if the animation worked. For me. We'll see, though. Oh, wait. I think I need to go... Wait. Oh, it does work. There you go. I could play around with some of the settings. I don't know what they do exactly. I should probably do more research on this. Okay, yeah, so this determines like how easily I get to peak velocity. The higher it is, the higher whatever. Cool though. Sick as shit. They do cool shit. I wanna I wanna learn how they did the CCTV stuff and even the bug thing, because it's just cool. Okay, hold on. I need to check something real quick. Oh shit. on. 1 second. One second. What the fuck? Why is it not working? Wait, hold on. Cool shit though. Okay, sorry, we're back. Okay. So now we're doing Joey's vids. We have the spider. 20 minutes long though, Jesus. The lightning arcs, 20 minutes long. And finally, the fuzz, which is only 10 minutes long. I might watch this one first. I might do them like in order of like least to greatest. This tentacle one isn't very long. Although it's just like drawing. Which is kind of like the fire one I did. But hopefully they also show me how to make the tentacle. Otherwise, it's pretty similar to the fire one I did. Rock one, again, this is kind of like the other one I did. Although, like I said, I would like to see the way they do it. Tentacles, this is pretty alright. That. Yeah, I'm probably going to push these three to do it like on another day. Modular virus, same, most likely. Okay, emotion, and what is this? I have something else, okay. What was I gonna say though? Hold on. Oh, I just heard like a bum ba da dum. Oh, I see what that's for. Never mind. Stop. The hell? The fuck? So I'm like scrolling through Twitter now. Well, seeing if there's anything interesting. Wait, hold on. Make sure. Let me check something out real quick. Never mind. Alright, let's continue. Fuzzy stuff. Okay, this is fuzzy Geo Nodes. Wait, sorry, I'll bring it back. I'm back, sorry. It's just my sister came home and she gave me a bite of her spicy ramen that she got, which is really good. Good taste. Really spicy. I didn't ask for more though because I didn't want to burn my mouth. Oh god. Anyway, in that note, I might leave at random points, okay? Just FYI. Due to that fact. So I apologize in advance if I do at some point kind of just stop in the middle of a video and go, hey, I gotta go. Because we might spend time together or something. And by spend time, I mean like play games. But anyway, I'll try to chug through as much as I can. Starting with this fuzzy tutorial. Oh god, that's hot. Holy shit, I'm still recovering from it. Ow, my head hurts.
Objects and making them look soft and fuzzy. Normally people would do this with the particle system, but thanks to some new geometry node features in Blender 3.4, we can get better results that render way faster.
Also, I was gonna comment, his voice, like, it's deeper. I wonder how, like, old he was when he made this. This is, like, a year ago. And then in this video... Oh, this video he sounds younger. Oh, wait, no, yeah, it's this video, then this video, and then this video. See if you look...
So what kind of story is being told here? It looks like somebody took a picture of a donut that they bought before eating.
Honestly, it might just be the mic.
Where this one is different. The last one was about lightning strikes, like how you would see during a storm. This one is recreating electricity, similar to what you would get from a Tesla coil. First step is finding a model to cover in fuzz.
Right? His voice is deeper. I wonder how old he is. For some reason. Sorry. It's still spicing me up. It's good though. It was good. Good taste. I had like rice balls in it, which are like chewy, which is I haven't tried yet, but it is cool.
I'm using this fish that I modeled because when I think of soft and cuddly animals, fish comes to mind.
Huh?
You can download the same one from Sketchfab if you'd like, but you can use whatever you want. Not everything looks appealing when you add little hairs to it though. Stick around to the end to see how I made this one. Now let's open up Blender 3.4, import the model, go over to geometry nodes, and add a new node tree. First thing to do in here is add in a distribute points on faces node, and I want our original geometry to be there, so I'll just duplicate this and bring in a join geometry right here, and you can just plug this in. Now we can turn the
Oh. Yeah, what's it again? Join. Oops. Let's see, wait, hold on. Let's see if there's anything good here. Oh, shrink wrap. Hair styling. Making an anime girl in Blender part 10. It's live right now. 3 viewers. Should I check out their stream? No, I'm joking.
this density up however high we want, and basically what we're going to do is instance a bunch of curves onto all of these points. So we have to make some curves now. The texture you end up with has mostly to do with the shape of your curves, and you can get some really different results just by changing them a little. I'm going to reference this piece of fleece that I have and try to match the shape of the fibers. I'll come over to the outliner and hit C to create a new collection. We can just name this something like fuzz. Let's hide our fish for now and add in a curve. So this is going to be our first hair, and if you want, you can make these with geometry nodes too, but I think it's actually a lot easier to just draw them. So we can tab into edit mode, hit T to open up the side panel right here, and you can go over to this draw tool like that. And we can leave this set to cursor, which means it's going to use the cursor in the middle for the depth. Now we can delete this and just start drawing a hair. So this first one I'll make about 1 meter long, just start from the bottom and go to the top. And this is a pretty smooth curve. This is going to be our long hair. So we can drag that over, Shift D to duplicate, and bring it back to the middle. This next one,
I did not draw. Hold on.
I want to be a little shorter and a little more squiggly.
I want the point to be at the middle. I could even hold on. There we go.
Wiggly, so I'll do like about half the length. Now this one I want to be like a loose pin.
Interesting.
Pill, so I'll just do a few squiggly shapes like this. And notice when I'm doing this, I'm always making sure that the origin point is at the very bottom right there.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna be a point, lol, of contention.
There. Now if we look at this from a different angle, you can see that this one is very flat. So an easy way to fix that is to go back into edit mode and just select the end right here. You can go up to proportional editing and turn this on. And I also want to turn on connected only. Now we can just rotate it on the Z axis like this. And if you want it to influence more,
Proportional editing, connected only, rotated on. Oh, wait, hold on.
of the curve, you can just use the scroll wheel like that. And now I can make it a little more three-dimensional. I'll duplicate it and we'll make one more. And this will be a similar shape, but a lot tighter. So I'll just do a lot more squigglies. And again, I'll select just the end and then rotate it on the Z. Make sure you're using proportional editing. All right, so these are the 4 we're gonna use. And notice that when I select them over here in the outliner, they're all in order. So 1, 2.
All right, one more.
Two, 3, 4, like that. This is going to come in handy later. We can just hide the collection now and bring back our fish.
Mine is not like that. Two. Now it should be. Yep.
Fish and go back over to geometry nodes. Let's bring in an instance on points node. And for the instance, we want to use the whole collection. So we can just drag it from our outliner and plug it in. Now this is going to look weird at first because what we want to do is separate the children and reset their location. And I also only want to choose one of these, so we can choose pick instance like that.
Wow. Oh god, this looks terrible. It's gross ass hair.
And right now, this is basically just alternating each different curve that we drew. I only want to use the first one, which is the long one. So that's what we can use this instance index for. You can just drag it out and search for integer. And now this will choose the first one in the collection. And we can choose whatever one we want. So it starts with 0. So The last one would be 3, but we can leave this set to 0. To make these stick out in the normal direction, you can drag the rotation over to the rotation of the instance on points and they'll stick straight out like that. Or at the very beginning, you can capture the normal. And I'm just going to store it in an attribute with a name and I'll just call it
store attribute normal
OG norm for original normal. Now we can bring this attribute back over here. Just search for it. Use and align oil.
Wait, oh, it's vector. What is it called? Oh, it is vector point. Okay, there we go.
Euler to vector. Make sure this is plugged
What is that? Align Euler to vector.
into the vector. Also change this to Z, and then we can plug that into the rotation. This will come in handy later when we animate our model. Okay, so the scale should definitely be quite a bit smaller right here. So
Why are they kind of like facing, not like where they're supposed to, I feel like. Some of these are going inside. Are the normals of the cube weird? No. How strange.
basically, I want to reuse this for each of our hairs, and we have 4 of them. So to make this easier to reuse, we're actually going to group all of these together. So let's organize all of the options that we want to use. I want to control the density. So I'll bring a value node over here for that. Plug it into the density. We have the integer for our index. I'll make another one for the seed right
Oh, I could just copy it. What am I doing?
here so we can randomize that. I want a little more control over the density, so I'll add a math node set to multiply and
What the hell?
drop that in right here, and we can make a second value node for the multiply, and I'll just set that to 1 by default. And I also want to control the scale. So one more value right here, and I'll just set it to like 0.1 and drag it over here. And I also want the collection on the outside.
Oops.
So now that we have all of the options we want, we can just select all of this and hit Control G. to group it. And if you want to change what any of these options are called or their order, you can do that on the side right here. Just hit N and go over to group. These two are still called value, so I'll name one of them density and the other one density multiplier. Now I can
Right.
get rid of the ones over here that I don't think we're going to need. This is mostly just
Which one's it doing? Instance, index, seed, and density. Oh, density multiply. Okay. I'll delete those then.
just to make it easier to set up. Now let's duplicate this node group so that we have 4 of them, one for each of our hairs. And instead of hitting Shift D, you can hit Control Shift D, and that will duplicate it with all of the connections over here still plugged in. So let's just make 4 of these. And I want to join them together. We can just plug all of them in like this. And then we just have to change.
Okay, I'm gonna have to zoom in.
Change the seed and the index for each one. So this
Why does this instance index not have a point? Hold on. Did I set that up wrong? I'm gonna add that a value node, I think. This is a workaround.
one will be 1, this one will be 2, and the last one will be 3. Now, if we want, we can control the density of each one independently like this. And I have this value over here, just controlling the density of all of them at the same time. Right now, these have no thickness to them, so we can add some thickness after the join G.
God, this is so small. Did I do this wrong? Wait, what? Oh, they have a second join geometry. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't know if it's that useful, but I think it helps with organization, maybe?
Geometry with a curve to mesh node, and we can plug a circle into the profile curve. I like to set the resolution to 3 to start, which is the lowest resolution, and the radius I like to set the resolution to 3 to start, which is the lowest resolution. And the radius is way too big right now, so we can set this to something a lot smaller, like 0.01. And
I can't actually see what's going on. So let me delete the annotation.
I also want
Oh, because my density is 0. It's like 1. By the way, is that actually doing anything? Oh shit, what the fuck? Why is it like that? The fuck? What are these points? I feel like I did something wrong.
the tip of each of these to get pointier. So we can do that with a set curve radius node, and we'll use a spline parameter, and we can plug.
Wait, what the fuck did he do? Oh man. Set curve radius. Again, I thought I fixed this issue last time. It's not saving it for some reason. My units are being set to meters or millimeters all the time. I think maybe I need to like save it first and then apply it. I don't know though. What is it called again? Spline what? Parameter?
The factor into the radius. Now these are all going to be flipped backwards. You can see it's like thin at the wrong end. So we can flip that around a few different ways. The way that I like to do it is with a math node set to subtract, and we can just subtract the factor from 1. So the first one should be 1. You can plug the factor into the second one, and then we can plug it back in. If any of them still look backwards, you can go over to your curves, and in edit mode, just select everything, right click, and choose switch direction, and then they'll flip around. Let's add some randomness now, so we can do that after.
There we go. I see what the problem was. Millimeter stuff.
After the join geometry right here, and We're working with instances. All of these are instances, so we can add some random rotation with a rotate instances node right here, and we can just plug a random value into the rotation. So I'll drag this out and search for random, and we have a random value right here. So I'll set the X and the Y to something like 0.3, and the Z I'll set to pi. And for the minimum, I'll do the same. 0.3, and the Z I'll set to pi. And for the minimum, I'll do the same. Same values, but negative. And I also want to add some random scale, so we can bring in a scale instances node and do the same thing, another random value node, except I'll set a scale instances node and do the same thing, another random value node, except I'll set this to float, and we can just plug that into the scale. And
oh, so this is like scale instances. Oh wait, I already fucking got that. An idiot.
I want our minimum scale to be something a little bigger, maybe like 0.3. I want the long hair to not appear as often, so we can change the density multiplier to something way smaller, like 0.005. If we turn our density up really high, it'll start to get pretty slow. So I want to make the value for the viewport and for the render different, and we can do that pretty easily. You can use a node that's called isViewport and a switch node. Make sure the switch is set to float, and we can plug the isViewport into the switch right there. Now the viewport value will be true, and when it renders, it will use the false value right here. So I'll just type 100, and we can replace this value. We can just delete it and add this one in like that. So let's set our render value to something way higher. So instead of 100, we'll do like 100,000. Now let's see how it's looking in the render. It's looking pretty good. Now let's add some color to it. So to get started, at the end, we should add
Oh my god. Hold on. Alright, let's continue, sorry.
Add a set material and
Alright. Alright, shut up. Alright, get out of here.
set it to whatever our fish is using right here. So we can do that. Now we can go over to the shading tab, and there are a few things we
I'm probably not going to follow along with this. I think I get the premise. But I'll watch to the end.
need to do in here. First of all, notice that our fish is using this image texture and it's UV unwrapped. This is going to be a lot easier if you're using UV maps. So let's bring in an attribute node, and we want to use the same UV map. So you can just hover over this, hit Control C, and then hover over this and hit Control V. Basically, you want to use the name of the UV map that your model is using, whatever is in here. You can see that we have two, and the one that this is using is called UV map. And we also want to change this from geometry to instancer. And this is the new feature in 3.4. It's that we have more attributes that we can use with our instances. Now, if we use the vector from this, you can see that our instances have the right color, but it turns our model gray. So we basically need to mix these two UV maps right here. Luckily, we can use the alpha right here from our attribute, and that will give us a different value for things that are instances and things that are not. So we can bring in a mix node right here and make sure this is set to vector, and we can plug the alpha into the factor. So the instances are showing as white. That means that we should plug our vector into this slot right here, the second slot, and our normal UV map into the first one, and we can plug this into our vector. And as soon as we do that, our colors should match. One issue is that when you're using this on something that deforms like an animated character, some of the particles will flicker in and out like this. First, we need to capture our original position, unwrap our mesh, and then after all of the points are scattered, we can set our model to its original position. It takes a little longer to load when you do this, but it fixed the flickering problem for me. If somebody knows of a better way to do this, then leave a comment below. You can make this easier to reuse for multiple objects by duplicating this group input and using the empty slots to plug into values that you know you're going to want to reuse. And you can rename some of these options in the side panel by hitting N. And then you'll be able to control things more easily from the side panel without going into the nodes. Let's try adding some fuzz to a more complex model. I found this sculpture for free from 3dscans.com, and it doesn't have a texture, so I'm gonna make a simple one from scratch. So I'll just import that model in as an OBJ. And this is huge right now, so let's just scale this down until it's, you know, a more manageable size. And when it looks good, hit Control A and apply all transforms. Now we can select it and add a geometry nodes modifier and just add in the node tree that we made. Now we can just, you know, turn the scale up and add as many particles as we want in here. In the shading tab, I'll make a simple material with a noise texture, and we're going to use the object texture coordinate. You can plug that into the vector, and I'm going to plug the color of the noise into our base texture. And now we'll get some rainbow colors in here. If we want our fuzz to inherit this color, we can use an object info node and use the location instead, like this. If you want to use both of these at the same time, you can do that the same way that we did before, using an attribute node. Even though you're not using it, you can bring in the UV map and set it to instancer, and we just want it basically for the alpha right here so we can switch between them. Set the render resolution to whatever we want, hit render, and this is what we got. If you want to download the file from this video, you can get it on Patreon, along with early access videos and coupons for free products. I'd like to thank my patrons for their support, and I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a good one.
When marketers fail to differentiate.
What is this? There's an easy way to do this with hair nodes. Watch this to learn more. The new ways of Blender.
I have some bad news, everyone. A lot of what I told you in previous videos was wrong. Well, they weren't wrong when I made the videos, but they are now. But I guess most of them aren't actually wrong. It's more that they're outdated and there are better or easier ways to do things now that either I didn't know about yet or I couldn't tell you about because the features didn't exist. But listen, it was unavoidable. I didn't know how much Blender would change. I mean, when I started using Blender in 2019, it looked like this. Now Blender updates and adds new features multiple times a year. So let's take a look at what has changed, and I'll show some new ways of doing things. Let's check out some that aren't related to geometry nodes first, since most of these are gonna be about geometry nodes. A feature that I missed in a ton of my old videos is about the Alt button. If you ever want to change the same value for multiple objects, holding the Alt button will usually let you do that. Like these two cubes both have a bevel modifier, and if they're both selected and I adjust this slider while holding Alt, it will change for both of them. And this works all over the place, even in the node editors. Like, you can change multiple noise textures at the same time this way. In some of my old rigging videos, I told people to get a bulk renaming add-on to rename multiple bones at the same time, but you can actually do that without an add-on by pressing Ctrl F2. It works for a bunch of data types like bones, lights, materials, nodes, and it lets you do things like find and replace for removing 001 from all of the names, or you can add suffixes. Very useful. In some of my old shader nodes videos, I used this noise distortion trick to make things look a little messier, and for some reason, I always did it using the factor output. Now I always use the color output. Using the factor does work, but the problem you get from this is that you're using the same values for each axis, and if you turn it up high enough, you can tell it kind of smears diagonally. You don't get this issue when you use the color because each axis gets a slightly different texture. I use this trick all the time in geometry nodes too, by the way. Speaking of geometry nodes, the first video I made using them is completely defunct now. When they first came out, they used a whole different workflow all about making and editing attributes, but they reworked it to use fields, which is what we have now. Once I got comfortable with geometry nodes, I used them to replace a lot of the modifier-based effects from my old videos. They all heavily relied on the displacement modifier, which still works fine, but you're limited to the textures in this tab over here. Nowadays, I do all of this with Geo Nodes using a set position node, which gives you a lot more control because you can more easily mix textures and control multiple nodes with the same values.
Okay, so I just sort of like, what the fuck? I just started watching this out of nowhere. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Is this also updated? When was this came out? 3 months ago. Displacement, phase scaling, simple index, cable generator, smoothing, ASCII filter, real-time compositor. What is this one? It just says most replayed. What? Why is it the most replayed? What? Repeat nodes, fuzz with hair nodes, simulation nodes, outdated is fine, staying up to date. Okay. I wonder, oh wait, I guess it tells you in the description, which apparently this one does not have it, and this one doesn't either. That's fine then. Alright, give me one moment. Have I taken a break at all? I feel like I haven't. Sorry. I'm gonna take a break for a little bit. And I'll be right back. So yeah, BRB. Alright, I'm back. But give me a moment. I might... Hold on. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I will have to watch this video. This also showcases a bunch of things that he did involving Geo Nodes. So I could actually get some like video recommendations off of this, but I'll save that till later. Do I want to make this right now? Do I want to make this right now? I don't really care about the tentacle right now, or rock, or these tentacles, or the self-building thing. These are very long videos. It's kind of bogging me down how long they are. Oh god. Ooh, 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 Wait, hold on. Alright, what should we do? What should we do? I feel like I'm a little tuckered out when it comes to Blender. Maybe I'm getting to the point where wait, what the fuck? Oh, never mind. I was like, I just saw the chat and it said that I banned someone. I was like, who the fuck did I ban? And then I realized who I banned. It was like a bot. But yeah, sorry. Like I was gonna say, I think I'm getting to the point where I'm getting tired of not working on a project. Which probably means sooner we're gonna start working on the rigging stuff. I'm trying to think though. What should we do? Because then we have this hair. There's only 100, I think. I think I set it up to have like over a lot more. To be fair though, this size is really big. I could definitely like size this down or something. If I make it bigger. Does that affect the hair size too? Oh, I think it does. Okay. Oh no, maybe it doesn't. Oh, maybe it does. It hits my performance if I make it too big. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, I'm wondering what should I do? I could continue following some tutorials. Which are just getting longer and longer, which is a real shame. I don't know. My head's hurting, which is why um I'm contemplating whether or not I should move on to some like low intensity gaming, or if I should just call it a day and maybe take a rest or something. Hopefully get better tomorrow. What else do we have here though? This was a really good video though. The smear. Shmeya. Really good video, really good content creator. I need to check up more of her work. The fuck? You gotta tell us what that coffee tastes like. What? I mean, obviously I haven't watched the video, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but still. Alright, you know what? We'll switch over to gaming. Just so that... Because I don't want to end. I don't want to end it early. So I'll switch over to gaming. Hopefully I feel better. We'll see though. And I'm probably gonna do some Honkai since that game requires me not to have to do much, unlike 20 minutes till dawn. So let me hold on, let me launch that up real quick. I'm really excited though for getting into the rigging part, especially if it means that the models that I end up making are easier and look better when animated. I definitely still need to look for videos though. If I look at my list, where is it? This one? Let's see. Let's go to rigging. When it comes to rigging, I actually have a few videos that I haven't finished watching. The skirt rigging, rigging hair and clothing with physics, rigging the butt to make it bend look nicer, rigify basics. I think someone sent me that one. White paintings so clothes don't clip. Those are like the basic ones. However, I do want to watch other ones. I'll find more, kind of like with the Geometry Node videos that I've been watching. I'll scroll down, and if there's any other ones that I see that look interesting to me, I'll save them. Maybe like a twist bone video. I know that's really important, especially for the wrists, so that like they don't crumple up. One thing that I noticed actually, which is actually pretty funny, it's happened to me when I was doing game dev stuff. Once you like do it for like a little bit, you kind of start to like dissect the games that you play or see, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I guess I could sort of see how they could do that, like in the game engine that you're working with. That's kind of like how I'm getting right now with Blender, and how in Lethal Company, the wrists when they do the dance like shrivel up to like a really small thing because they don't have twist bones. So it looks really weird. I find that really funny. You notice those like little things when you, I guess, invest time into learning certain aspects of, I guess, like the media you consume. Someone with games and with models now, I guess. It's funny to be able to see that. Also, the weight painting of that character, like the part of the backpack that's like weight painted to like the bottom portion of the spine. Meanwhile, the top part of the backpack's like on the top part of the spine. So when you like bend, it like stretches out the sort of like oxygen pack that you have on your back, which is pretty funny. Obviously, I don't expect perfection. The game is good. It's still funny to think about though. And it goes to show that you don't need incredible models to make a fun game, as long as the game is fun. Then the art, although the art's actually quite nice. I like the effect that Lethal Company has, where it's kind of like static-y almost. I think it's a hallmark of that developer. I believe some other older games have that similar sort of look to them. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me... Okay, hold on. The game's still loading up. Once it's done, I'll put it up on screen. But yeah, it's very tiring to be sick, sadly. What am I looking at? Banana, 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 banana. I'm feeling a bit better now, though. Sometimes well, the pain, Spain without an S, I guess. Um, it like fluctuates. Sometimes it's like I'm fine, and then sometimes it just starts to hurt really badly. That it makes me want to stop. Um, we're running out of Advils, which is the reason why I'm trying to tough through the pain, so I don't use anymore until we get some more. I don't really follow a lot of people on Twitter, but I'm realizing I'm getting a lot more like VTuber and like Blender related content, which I think is really nice. Um, the issue with it though is that I end up wanting to like scroll through my Twitter's feed in case someone like shows something they're working on or shows off like a really cool idea. I like seeing people's work because it inspires me to sort of come up with my own ideas. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Sorry. I mentioned this before, right? Um, the Trello board thing that I saw. Uh, I guess like they're like a VTuber thing. I also think they also do VR chat. They also do really cool tutorials on Twitter. Um, I'm probably gonna do that. Oh yeah, I did talk about this. I'll do that once I'm done with the rigging thing. And I need to amass a list of, I guess, like characters or ideas that I want to do. To put on the list, because I'm not gonna do it like they do it, where they put their commissions on the list or on the Trello board. I'm just gonna basically put things that I want to make on the Trello board instead. All right, we're here, guys. Well, how's it going? If this spot looks familiar, that's because, hey, we've been trying to grind this person, Ron May, a good set of boots and body. I think we also need to get her planetary ornaments, which I haven't done at all this week. I have, I guess until Sunday to do them. I don't know if I'm gonna do it today. This is an issue that I have with a lot of the gacha games that I play. Is that if there's like a piece of content that is just like too tedious, I end up like pushing it off into the last moment. I don't know why. In my head, I feel like I need to set time apart or set time aside to do something. And with something like Simulated Universe and all the other like Simulated Universe content, I feel like I have to set it aside to do it at some point. I haven't even done this. Maybe I should do this actually. Let's do this. But yeah, how weird the mind works or whatever. Anyway, the good thing about Honkai Star Rail is I could set it on auto and kind of just like turn my mic off and just do other things, which is why I chose to play this. I could relax my head and not talk for a minute while the game auto plays the game. Alright, they should be able to beat this. I haven't really upgraded any of these characters since, so which is why I'm not trying the other difficulty. Maybe if I like improved Gwynethyn's like artifacts a bit more, because I'm pretty sure her artifacts are not leveled, or at least she doesn't have like the good artifacts for her. Kafka has like semi-decent artifacts. She has some good ones, she has some stinkers. I need to change those stinkers. I think Natasha has some really good ones. I mean, you could see how much health she has. She has like almost everyone's health combined. And I think Japar definitely needs better artifacts. He might even still be using purples if I'm being honest. Kind of sad. Like I said, I don't spend a lot of time, or I guess I don't have a lot of time to sit down and sort of min-max this stuff. I do what I can. I use all my stamina up. I do my dailies. I do take time out to sort of think about ways to improve. I feel like with this game though, there's so many characters I want to use that like if I spent my entire time like trying to perfect the artifacts on one character, then I'm like neglecting all my other characters. But I'm taking it in turns, you know? Taking it slowly. Not really caring. Ron May is a really good support apparently, so if her equipment is good, then I could use her to get other people's equipment, and so on and so forth. Again, I'm saving for Black Swan. However, Dr. Ratio is coming out soonish. I don't remember when. Obviously it's at the end of this, I guess like summoning period for Ron May. But I need to check. I'll check in a little bit. Because apparently he's really good, and I could put him in a team with Topaz, which again, Topaz doesn't have a lot of good artifacts, and obviously Dr. Ratio won't have any good artifacts at the start. And then I also want to build the 4-star, the newer one. There's a lot of characters that I want to play with, and that stretches me very thin. And ultimately, it means that all my teams suck ass. But it's fine. Like I said, once Ron May is done getting our artifacts built, I'll focus on someone else's artifacts. I don't know who yet. Maybe Kafka, and then Black Swan, Dr. Ratio at some point. Again, it's kind of like I might do Dr. Ratio next, mostly because Kafka doesn't have terrible artifacts. Her artifacts are decent enough that I could just like put her to the down the list, focus on Dr. Ratio, and then I guess a little bit on Topaz, so that I could get a good like what is it, like after attack team counter attack? I don't know what they call it. I forgot. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna mute now, so I could chill. I just been talking. Oh, I just realized the screen is really zoomed in. Let me unzoom that in. I think it's zoomed in because of Oh, is it zoomed in? Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, it's zoomed in because of Motion Studio, where the screen would like dynamically move, which was really annoying. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna be muted. I'll be right back. Alright, guys. I'm cutting this silent gameplay up to tell you all I gotta go. Okay. It's time to go. So yeah. Hope you'll have a great day. Sorry for, like, I feel like, I mean, it kind of started alright. And then the quality started to go down. To be fair, though, these last streams, these last, like, 3 days, something like that, not the best, okay? I've literally been sitting here quiet, listening to a video. What do you expect? I'm watching tutorials. Hopefully, I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Depending on how I feel, I'll either do more Geo Node tutorials, or could go on and do the rigging stuff I mentioned. Whichever comes first, or whatever. Either way, though, like I said, I'm a go now. Mid-game. Sorry about that. But yeah. Thank you for watching. We'll see what happens. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye-bye.